Hello my dear friends, and welcome to my channel. Don't forget to make yourself a cup of hot and tasty drink if you want, because today we have very interesting stories, and one of them is a story about a woman with a kid who refused to wear a mask, threatened managers and decided that store is a bathroom. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Hello everyone, I worked for a few years as a front desk supervisor at a hotel attached to an indoor water park. I have lots of stories involving EPs, EKs, and tons of crazies, but this entitled Mom, EM, was one of the worst. I didn't deal with her personally, but I had to deal with her aftermath, and the head of security and the water park told me the whole story. TK stands for traumatized kid, WP stands for water park. It was the dead of winter, late February, and due to freezing cold, the indoor water park attracted lots of families. It was a packed Saturday, but after the check-in rush, the lobby was a ghost town. I was working the front desk alone, shooting the crap with the security guards, when a call came over the radio from the WP. Our head of security, we'll call him Don, was a stocky bear of a guy and the king of calm authority. He could look at a rowdy group and they'd stop cold, but he knew how to handle himself if they didn't. He calmly walked down the hall to the WP, rookie security guard in tow, and I waited for them to come back with the story. They were gone less than 10 minutes, and the fire alarm starts blaring. I hear Don yell over the radio it was a false alarm and to bring the shuttles around to pick up water park guests, and my heart sank. It was past 10 p.m. and at least minus 10 degrees outside, and a whole bunch of soaking wet people must have walked out into the cold, not to mention a horde of angry guests upstairs. Thankfully, the alarm was diffused quickly, and we caught most people from leaving the lobby, and the shuttle circled the building to intercept any guests who went outside with warm blankets. After a bit, Don and the rookie returned. The rookie was splattered with cake and holding a bandage on his hand, and Don dives into the story. Entitled Mom, EM, was hosting her 8-year-old's, TK's, birthday in the WP. Our catered birthday package included cake, pizza, and all-day WP passes for the party guests. EM took that as you can watch my kid and spent the day harassing the lifeguards to bring her fresh towels and drinks, claiming too many seats for her friends, and generally ignoring her daughter. The trouble really started around 10 p.m. because the restaurant and bar closed and EM suddenly wanted to go home. She couldn't see her daughter, it was a large park, so EM started screaming and cussing loudly for her to get out of the water. Lifeguards tried to quiet her down, but she angrily pushed past them, threatening her daughter. DK, you better get out of the water, you have until the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Security arrived just as she shouted 3, walked calmly to the wall, and before they realized what she was doing, she pulled the fire alarm. Now everyone has to get out, because you didn't listen. This is your fault, TK. The lifeguards and security were stunned, but they quickly went after her, and she ran back to the party balcony. Get away from me. You were too lazy to get her out, so I had to. Mind you, she was wearing a swimsuit and could have easily gone to the park to get her child. The rookie starts going for her, and EM picks up the leftover cake from the party and hurls the tray at him and the lifeguards. When the rookie reeled back in surprise, she tackled him. Don managed to rip her off by the scruff of the neck and subdue her, but she managed to get a nasty bite on Rookie's hand. The police were called, and EM was arrested for assault, and TK was taken home by her aunt. I spent the rest of the night calming down furious guests with frightened or freezing children, but it felt good to know EM was arrested. Assault and public endangerment is more like it, she could have risked the other people getting hypothermia from the cold weather, and there was no fire when she pulled it, so. Some background information, I work at a drop-in daycare center. For a long time, we had an issue with parents not paying on time or saying they'll pay at the end of the week and then never coming back. We've recently cracked down on our policy of payment at drop-off, and not all of the parents have been exactly thrilled. One parent who had been particularly bad about not settling her bill once accused us of abusing her daughter to try to get us to waive the payment, which particularly pissed me off, because why the hell would you keep bringing your kid if you think she's being abused, as opposed to, I don't know, calling the police. She claimed that we weren't feeding her our food and not giving her the food she was sent with, both of which were false. Her daughter refused to eat the food her mom brought her, but would ask for seconds and thirds of anything we served her. Anyways, surprise surprise, entitled Mom, EM, doesn't settle her tab the last time she dropped off her daughter. Then, the week before Christmas, she brings her in to drop off again. I wasn't there when this happened, but my assistant director, Adi, told me what went down. So here we go, ma'am, I need to take a payment before you can drop her off. Oh, her dad will pay when he picks her up. No, ma'am, I can't receive her without a payment. You still owe from last time as well. He'll pay this afternoon. I'm sorry. I can't take her without a payment. If you want, we can call him and take a payment by card over the phone. You have to take her. You can't take her. Actually, I'm the assistant director, so I do have the authority to tell you that we will not accept her without a payment. Oh, so now you're the assistant director? I've been the assistant director for 2 years. Ma'am, unless you're going to make a payment, you need to leave. Well, she's staying here, and you'd better feed her. EM turns to the door to leave. Ma'am, if you leave this building, I will have to call the police. You'll call the police? Yes, ma'am. I have told you that you cannot leave your daughter here without making a payment. If you leave her anyways, that's child abandonment. The mom ended up grabbing her daughter and leaving. The dad, who is much more laid back, came by later on to pay their balance. We explained again what our policies and prices are. I don't think this will be the last time we have to deal with her crap. She's from a country where it's common for people to have servants, so she treats anyone she deems beneath her like trash, but at least she knows that now we'll push back. People are so effing entitled these days and act shocked when they get called out for being rude and thoughtless to others. Good for you, OP. Past. EM. You know who this is. EC. You know this too. P. My friend. M. Manager. C1 to 3. The cops. So we'll call this store chain Brovigo, and B has been working there for the past 4 years. This happened in early 2020, so the panda bear was in full swing with mask mandates etc. She's working the self-checkout area right by the doors and notices a woman enter with her screaming child, henceforth known as EM and EC. EM looks to be in her 40s, and her kid is wearing a school name class of 2020 sweater, so he was around 11 or 12. Right off the bat, EM looks pissed, probably from her goblin child screaming blue murder about how he wants McDonald's, and waltzes in without a mask. B notices and heads over to nicely ask her to put one on. Conversation paraphrased. Welcome to Brovigo. Do you need a mask? What? No. I just need a few things. She tries to shove her way past B and into the store. Quick trip, eh? Yeah, I get that, but as per Brovigo policy, all staff and customers over the age of 10 need to be wearing masks in the store. Well, I don't have one. Well, right over there we have some in case people forget. You can get one for you and your son. Mom, I don't want to wear a mask. Hush, sweetie, you don't have to. The B, my son is 8, he doesn't need one. And besides, I don't need one either, I just need to grab a few things, I'll be out in a few minutes anyway. Hey. I'm not 8. EM glares at her kid to shut up, and he keeps whining about how he doesn't want to wear a mask. I understand, ma'am, but it's store policy, and if you won't wear a mask, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to shop elsewhere. The door signs clearly state you must wear a mask to shop with us. But I just need a few things. It's not like I'm going all over the store. I want to speak with your manager. Hey Em, I've got a woman at the doors who wants to talk to you. Be right there. Is it about masks again? Yep. Keep her at the doors please. Can do. Turning to speak to EM, please wait right here and M will be right over. Better not keep me waiting, I have a family to feed. M soon shows up and takes over. Good afternoon. How can I help you today? This child, B was 20, won't let me in. How am I supposed to feed my family if I can't even enter the store? Well, ma'am, you're welcome to do your shopping here if you put on a mask. Noticing the class of 2020 shirt on the kid, and your son needs one as well, seeing as he's over 10. He's 8. No, I'm not mom, stop saying that. Be quiet, EC. Mommy's handling this. Don't yell at me. He's stomping his foot and screaming in her face. Don't you take that tone with me. Let me deal with these idiots, then mommy will get you McDonald's after. The kid shuts up real quick. I can't wear a mask and neither can my son, we have asthma and won't be able to breathe. I'm very sorry to hear that, but I'm afraid the rule goes for everyone, no entry without a mask. I swear to God we'll suffocate with masks on. Are you trying to kill my child? I'm going to sue if you don't let me in right now. Please don't raise your voice at me. I'm speaking to you like an adult, I expect the same in return. If you don't want to wear a mask, then you can shop somewhere else. I hear that Smallmart is allowing customers to shop without masks, if you'd rather go there. I'll speak however I want. You're infringing my rights as a Canadian citizen to breathe freely. I don't want to go to Smallmart, I'm already here, just let me do my freaking shopping. EM is panting like she just ran a marathon, and her crotch fruit pulls her down to whisper something in her ear. EM smiles like the Grinch after stealing Christmas and nods at a gremlin. He takes off into the store at a run, and they lose. EM is panting like she just ran a marathon, and her crotch fruit pulls her down to whisper something in her ear. EM smiles like the Grinch after stealing Christmas and nods at a gremlin. He takes off into the store at a run, and they lose sight of him in the aisles. M sends B after the kid, while he calls for Brovigo security. B is now searching up and down every aisle in the store, and finally finds the kid in the frozen food section, all the way at the other end of the store. He's got his pants around his ankles, and is squatting in the middle of the aisle, dropping a massive pile of crap on the floor. He sees B and grins at her. B gets on the walkie and calls M over, telling him what's going on. At this point, EM has reluctantly put on a mask, and storms over with M just as EC drops the last nugget on his steaming pile. He pulls his pants back up, and trots over to EM. There we go, we found him, now I can shop in peace. Absolutely not. You or your son need to clean that up immediately. Hell no. Get her to do it, pointing at B, it's her job. No, it's not. Either you clean that up right now, or I'm calling the police. Fine. Go get me some paper towels. Can you go grab the cleaning cart by the cash? Yeah, no problem. B gets the cart and EM starts picking up the poop. I hope you understand, once that's cleaned up you'll need to leave. You and your son are banned for life. What? After this awful display from the both of you, you're not welcome to return. That's not fair. I've been a loyal customer here for years. You can't do this. And she flings the fistful of poop she's got at his head. He managed to dodge it, and it splattered on the freezer door behind him, running down the glass, smearing a stinky brown path towards the ground. M gets on the walkie and asks for someone to lock the doors and call the cops, while EM and EC make a beeline for the exit. Boy was she pissed when she realized she was locked in. She's screaming at everyone, her kid is complaining about the crap still stuck to his butt, and everyone else is staying the back away from the crazy lady with crap on her hand, screaming about lawsuits and how she'll have all the employees fired. I'm truly sad I wasn't there to see this crap show, unfold in person, but B managed to show me the CCTV footage a few days later. The cops show up not too long after, in masks and gloves. The station was just down the street from the Brovigo, and M uses a side exit to go out and explain the situation. 3 cops enter and head over to where EM is still screaming like a banshee, sniveling hellspin in tow. Ma'am, you're going to need to come with us. Like hell I am. He's the one you should be arresting. Pointing a crappy finger at M, he made me clean up some random kid's poop. Ma'am, you need to calm down and come outside with us, or we'll be forced to detain you. You can come peacefully or in handcuffs. It's your call. EM rushes the officers, probably to start hitting them or something, and C1 and C3 grab her and pin her on the floor, with C2 cuffing her while reciting her rights. EC is scream-crying now, telling the cops to leave his mom alone, and trying to pull them off her. C1 turns around and grabs EC in a bear hug, lifting him off the ground as he's kicking and screaming to be let go, and carries him out to the squad cars in front of the store, all while EM is screaming about child abuse and unlawful detainment and you'd better get your hands off my child right now, or I'll sue you all to high heaven. EC is packed into the back of one car, EM in the other, and C1 comes back to finish up with M and B, taking their statements and getting a copy of the CCTV footage. EM was charged with disturbing the peace, aggravated assault for the poo flinging, resisting arrest, and trespassing. She never came back to that store and was banned from all Brovigo locations for life, along with her son. M ended up cleaning the poo, not wanting to make his employees do it. BTA. This happened in Montreal and was all in French. I've done my best to translate it. A story that became more disgusting with every sentence. All I can think is that the boy is subhuman and his entitled mother is a shining example of how not to raise children. So I got my hair done about a week ago. It looks amazing, if I do say so myself. I also just got a new job at McDonald's, so I see a lot of people. Majority are nice. However, there are a few bad apples. I was busy taking orders and stuff because that's what I'm paid to do. I'm behind the counter. When this lady comes up to me. I just took her order not too long ago, a medium number 9 meal and a 6-piece nugget kids meal. So yeah, she had a kid who was in Playland at the time. I've been told by some of my good friends that I've known for years that I low-key look like an elf or a fairy now, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so I'm just doing my job when this woman comes up to me. Let's just call her Karen. Hi there. Hello ma'am, is there anything I can get for you? Most of the time when people come up to the counter, they just want some extra sauce or something like that. Oh no, it's just that my daughter really likes the color of the wig you have on. She really wants to dress like a fairy and absolutely loves the color and style of it. Can she have it? Sorry ma'am, this isn't a wig. I just got my hair done at the salon over at the Walmart across the street. No, that's a wig, nobody dyes their hair that color. Now give it to me. At this point she had the attention of everyone who was at the front. She leans over the counter and tries to grab my hair. I jumped back to get out of her reach. That made her mad. That's when my favorite manager came over. She's my favorite because she likes anime and stuff like I do. Is there a problem ma'am? Yes, your employee stole my daughter's costume wig and is refusing to return it. I want her fired. I'm gonna run back and get some stuff to stock. Ma'am, that's not a wig, that's her hair. And we, motioning to the rest of my coworkers, all saw you try to pull her hair. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I didn't really go stock, by the way. That was already done. I just wanted to get out of that situation. I was standing off to the side. The customers couldn't see me, though. She starts going ballistic on FM. Saying how that's not possible, people don't dye their hair crazy colors anymore, blah blah blah. Eventually, FM gets the store phone and threatens to call the police for attempted assault. And for causing a disturbance. So she goes and gets her kid and leaves. And I die laughing because how can you be that stupid? People don't dye their hair like that anymore. Where does that lady live? I've seen people with red or purple or dark blue hair, more recent years. Well guys, that's it for today. If you end up enjoying this video please consider subscribing, and if you missed the last episode on the channel I'm gonna link it right here. The story is about a woman demanded OP give her kitten's box and then caused a scene. Check this out if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.